Namaste students. In this presentation, I will discuss about Archaebacteria. In 1969, Robert Harding Whittaker proposed a comprehensive five-kingdom system of classification comprising of kingdoms Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. In 1996, scientists decided to split Monera into two groups, that is Archaea and Eubacteria, because these two groups of bacteria were different in many ways. So scientists created a new level of classification called as the domain system of classification. Carl Woese proposed a three-domain system of classification. Based on his studies on the comparative sequencing of 16S and 18S ribosomal rRNA, Carl Woese created three domains that are the Eukaryota, Eubacteria, and the Archaebacteria. So let us discuss the general characters of the Archaebacteria. The word Archaebacteria comes from the Greek words archeon, which means ancient, and bacterion means a small rod. So these Archaebacteria are ancient to the Eubacteria, and they were mostly the rod-shaped structure, hence they got the name Archaebacteria. These Archaebacteria are prokaryotic and are unicellular. So their cell structure is prokaryotic and unicellular. Morphologically, these bacteria are either spherical, rod-shaped, spiral, or irregular shape. They range in their size from 0.1 to over 15 microns in length. And nutritionally, they are either chemolithotrophs or organotrophs. So chemolithotrophs are those organisms which obtain their energy for their growth and development from oxidation of inorganic compounds like hydrogen and hydrogen sulfide. Organotrophs are those organisms which receive their hydrogen or electrons from the organic substances. So Archaebacteria are chemolithotrophs or organotrophs. Coming to the habitat of the Archaebacteria, they usually prefer extreme aquatic or terrestrial habitat. They are often present in anaerobic, hypersaline or high temperature environment. A few of the Archaebacteria are symbionts in the animal digestive systems. The cell wall of Archaebacteria stain either gram positive or gram negative. Chemically, the cell wall differ from the Eubacteria, as the Archaebacteria do not have muramic acid and D-amino acids, which is the characteristic feature of eubacterial peptidoglycan. All Archaebacteria resist attack by lysozyme and B-lactam antibiotics such as penicillin. Methanobacterium and some other methanogens have cell wall containing pseudomurin. Pseudomurin is a peptidoglycan-like polymer that has L-amino acids in its cross-link, and they do not have N-acetyl muramic acid. The gram-negative Archaebacteria have a layer of protein or glycoprotein outside their plasma membrane. The most distinctive character of Archaea is the nature of their membrane lipids. The lipids of both eukaryotes and eubacteria consists of two straight chain fatty acids bound at one end to a glycerol molecule through a ester linkage, whereas the lipids in Archaea have two long hydrocarbon chains linked to glycerol molecule through a ether link rather than an ester link. Moreover, the hydrocarbon chains are not straight but are branched, and every fourth carbon atom in the chain carries a methyl group. They also contain polar lipids such as phospholipids, sulfolipids, and glycolipids, and also they contain the non-polar lipids which are derivatives of isoprenoid compound squalene. In spite of their chemical uniqueness, membranes of most archaebacteria are structurally arranged to form a typical bilayer like eubacterial membranes. That is, they contain two polar surfaces and a non-polar interior. The presence of ether-linked lipids is such a unique characteristic of archaebacteria that this distinctive feature has been used as a biomarker for detecting archaebacteria in paleontological studies of rock, sediment cores, and other fossils. The genomes of archaebacteria consist of a single covalently closed circular DNA molecule much smaller than that of eubacteria. The genome is of 2.5 into 10 to the power of 9 daltons. The Archaebacteria thermoplasma acidophyllum genome is only 0.8 into 10 to the power of 9 daltons. Archaebacterial diversity is evident from its variation in the guanine cytosine content. Plasmids of different sizes have been reported from several archaebacteria. The archaebacterial ribosomes are of 70S type but resemble eubacteria in their insensitivity to chloramphenicol and kanamycin. Means the 70S type of ribosomes of archaebacteria are not sensitive to the chloramphenicol and kanamycin, whereas the 70S type of ribosomes of bacteria are sensitive to chloramphenicol and kanamycin. The 16S rRNA molecule of archaebacteria differ greatly from the other bacterial and eukaryotic 16S rRNA. The first amino acid to initiate the new polypeptide chain in archaebacteria is methionine instead of N-formyl methionine. Coming to the classification of archaebacteria, the three distinct groups occur in archaebacteria. They are the methanogens, the extreme halophiles, and the extreme thermophiles. Let us discuss about the methanogens. The methanogens are strictly obligate anaerobes, means they cannot survive in the presence of oxygen. So they need an oxygen-less environment to survive. The habitat of methanogens are marshes, swamps, ponds, lake mud, the intestinal tract of human and animal, the rumen of cattle, and also the inorganic sludge digester in sewage treatment system are also the ideal for the growth of this archaebacteria. The examples of archaebacteria methanogens are methanobacteria, methanospirillum, and methanococcus. While producing methane, they utilize electrons generated by oxidation of hydrogen or simple organic compounds such as acetate and methanol. Next, coming to extreme halophiles, they are also called as halobacteria. These are obligate halophiles found in salt lakes, the Dead Sea, food preserved by salting and salt production industrial plants. So they need high concentration of salt for their survival. So they grow in salt with concentration above 15%. They are aerobic, that is, they need oxygen for their respiration. They stain gram negative and the range of shape from rod to disc shape. So rod or disc shaped bacteria are there. So example is halobacterium, and the shape of cocci is also there and found in the halococcus. The colonies of these extreme halophiles are red to orange due to presence of carotenoids which seem to protect the cells against the damaging effect of sunlight. Their mechanism of photoproduction of energy is unique as they use bacteriorhodopsin, a special pigment, as photoreceptor. So example we have seen the halobacterium and the halococcus. Next, coming to the extreme thermophiles. So they are gram negative archaebacteria and they are anaerobic, that is, they don't need the oxygen for their respiration. They are characterized by a remarkable ability to grow under high acidic conditions and at high temperature. They required reduced sulfur compounds and extremely high temperature for their growth. They are, as I told, gram negative and anaerobic, and some can even survive at near boiling points of water. The examples are Serphobolus, Pyrodictum, and Thermoplasma. So we have seen the archaebacteria are ancient to bacteria, and they are mostly prokaryotic and have a unicellular cell structure. They are chemolithotrophs or organotrophs, and their cell wall do not have the peptidoglycan, which is typically present in the bacterial cell walls, and their 16S rRNA also differs from that of the eubacteria and the eukaryotes, and based on this structure of rRNA, the group has been placed under a separate domain called the Archaebacteria domain. Thank you.